Let's all roll for our hobby. Let's all roll for our hobby. Oh, let's all roll for our hobby to get ourselves a crit. Tipsy's drunk as shit. Onyx loves to hit. Ooh, Rock's magic is handy. Toot Toot's music is dandy. So let's all roll for our hobby to get ourselves a crit. Let's all roll for our hobby to get ourselves a crit.
Come, friend, now lend me an ear for a tale of Victor the Weird. He went on an adventure with him and himself, and also his mighty fine beard. Now gather round, I'll tell you about this mighty beast. He may look as human, as mere as you, friend, but soon your eyes will feast upon this marvelous creature with many body parts. His one shirt may fool you, but what if I told you his chest had 4 red hearts? One mouth but 1,000 voices, one mind and limited choices. 2 handsome dice, 2 handsome dice. The audience rejoices. He's going to play D&D with him, himself, and he. Those are his pronouns, it's really profound. It's time for D&Me, featuring Victor and Victor and Victor, and Victor and Victor and Victor, and Victor and Victor and Victor and Victor and Victor. One knows who knows how many repeats. So come and sit down in an empty seat. It's time for D&Me. 2 eyes, 4 cheeks, 2 souls on his feet, 2 hands for winning and foes to defeat, 1 tongue, 2 lips through which to speak, but just one but.
Hey everybody, I'm Victor Rivera, and this is D&Me, where I play with myself. I play D&D with myself, and welcome to episode 33 of D&Me Adventures. Hello, welcome. Thank you, Poppy, for resubscribing at tier 1 for 6 months. That's humongous. Thank you very much. And hopefully my mic is doing better. The last 2 episodes, it was crackling and popping something awful, and I felt awful. So please let me know if it starts crackling and popping again. Because literally the past fortnight I've been stressing out about it so much. So I have it fixed to a good point, but it does something cool and new today. Only today, where every once in a while it just completely... So, where it literally just cuts off. Yeah, it literally just happened. Cursed. Yep, I don't know. It started today, so we'll see as soon as it does happen, because I'm going to keep an eye on my mic aux levels, and it goes beep 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 when I am making noise, but I can hear it through my headphones the entire time. So as far as if it does just cut off randomly, then please let me know. Please let me know as soon as you can in the chat, and then what the last thing you heard was. So, okay. Hopefully, though, no cracking and popping. So, we'll trade one thing. Thanks, Will Shit. Yeah. Will Shit indeed. So... we'll see. So, crackling, popping, take care of. Maybe sudden drop off. We'll get there. We'll get there eventually, folks. Anyways, I don't have any D&D pregame except for the following. A big, humongous thank you to Anna Bowder, who is one of the biggest supporters of my show that doesn't have my blood, because she did the initial run for episode 9 and episode 10 for the podcast, where she did all the... All right. When she edits episode 33 for the podcast, she'll take that out as well. Uh-huh. Are you done? No? Okay. So she does the initial run, which is the thankless menial task of taking out all the and likes and uhs and fillers and loud cars and stuff like that. She did that for episode 9, which was released this past week, and then episode 10, which I'm going to work on, and then my father wants to help with the audio as well, so he's doing episode 11, and then I sent Anna episode 12, which is humongous. Biggest fan that doesn't have my blood. Now I need to send her a vial or something just so we all have some. I was going to make a joke of like, doesn't share my blood, and she keeps refusing, but then I'm not going to continue. But she is also now going through YouTube and starting from the very beginning of the series, and she is making time codes of when different things happen. So like when we go to a new scene, like memorable moments. So she is like, she's doing incredible work. So I wanted to thank her so much. Thank you, Anna. I really, really, really appreciate it, and you are helping elevate D&Me as a show in general and making it more accessible to everyone. So thank you very much. And that's literally all the D&M pre-show notes I have. Today was a very busy day. OMG, Anna, you rock, says my sister in the chat. So there you go, kiddo. And yeah, that's all I have. So here we go. Yeah, no, today was a really busy day. So I'm just a wee bit scattered, but we'll get there, baby. D&Recap, episode 32, Care to Share. We started out with Tipsy coming back from his interaction with Buzz, the leprechaun, and then him and Rock managed to escape from outside of Plaza Grulhund in the Sea Ward, where Tipsy rolled on the drunk table and got loud and obnoxious. So that ruined their stealth mission. They went back to Tipsy's tavern where Toot Toot and Aggo were having a moment, and I was going to say feeling each other out, but that's not right. They are sizing each other up. That's slightly better. And then the next day, my boys split up again to keep an eye on the doppelgangers they have found so far. So Tipsy, Onyx, and Toot Toot went down to the yawning portal to look after Bonnie and Tiffany. And then Rock went to the theater, and that's where we ended the episode, to be around Sheen, just to make sure that nothing happens. And here we go. So, last we left off in the episode, the cute little epilogue, was Rock knocking at the door of the Seven Masks Theater. And this really big, ridiculously fat woman answered the door and turned out to be Sheen in disguise, which he is very good at. So Sheen let Rock in, and now they're going down the first hallway. And before I do, my mom also says, "Woohoo, Anna is awesome" in the chat. So yeah. As they're walking down, then let me completely miss my die. That's not even really the one I wanted. There we go. I'm going to roll for something. Okay, a 4. Not great, but still not the worst. Then they're going down the first hallway of the Seven Masks Theater, which again have the mannequins in various costumes and framed show posters. Like, Land of Zombies 2. And it's a picture of a couple actors with hideous zombie makeup on. Like, really bad, like, tissue paper and... What is that? Tissue paper and... Not spirit gum, but just, like, liquid latex. That's what it is. Yucky. So, they're going down the hallway, and then Rock... As Rock is walking and Sheen's large woman form is, like, waddling violently back and forth, then Rock goes, "Now, excuse me, Sheen, is Wishes here, the fairy dragon?" Sean Connery. All right, hold on. Well, let me see. And then with the 14, Sheen will kind of squint with their one eye open around into the rafters and looking about, leaning past one of the mannequins and like looking behind at its feet. And Sheen goes, they're not too far away, so any particular reason for your interest?
And Rock goes, well, honestly, that is a fascinating character. A creature that is as well adept in invisibility. I just met one last night. Do you know of air eels?
No.
Well, it's like it. Well, actually, for costuming, it's very much like a feathered boa. So that was amazing. So invisibility, and then of course there's all the lore connected with dragons and fairy dragons and pseudo dragons.
I know it well. And then they're curving around the second hallway and going down. Ooh! Then Rock will do a big old Arcana check, which he never ever does. So he's going to look up into the banisters and kind of follow Sheen's lead, and then see if he can spot, because last night also, man, I love how things are all connected. And now Dog's outside, and it's fine. Rock met with Ago and then Amelia, and they discussed invisibility, and then Amelia's near invisibility but not full invisibility, and then Ago mentioned that there is magic where you can see invisibility. And so Rock will try with an Arcana, his +6. That's a 3! So not skilled in seeing invisibility, but just doing invisibility. Then Rock looks around for any tall tale signs of like wavy air or a shift in the shadows. And it's obvious, and then Sheen being the mentor from Anywhere, one of Bonnie's Princess Misdirections' tutors and maesters, as it were, big old teachers, then he goes, tell me, what do you see?
I see just a normal hallway.
Ah, well, that may be the case, but also, what don't you see? And then
Rock goes, interesting. I don't see
and then he looks around at like the shadows to see if he missed something.
What I don't see is I don't know.
And then Sheen goes, that was more of a rhetorical question, but I appreciate the effort. Occasionally magic, I can tell that you are a wizard, so you are a very patient study, and you spend hours poring over textbooks and narratives and nonfiction, but at times that feels to me like classical music. So you sit down and you have your sheet music in front of you, and then you're playing stringed instruments, and you rehearse for weeks over the same piece of music, and it's quite lovely and charming, and everyone knows the various ebbs and flows of the music. But occasionally, do you know about sorcerers?
And then Rock goes, well, yes, one of my very good friends here is a sorceress.
Yes, well, tell me about their magic.
Well, wizards are learned, and we come from universities or higher study, and we do
prepare magic as written, where sorcerers, their magic comes from the strings and the weave of the cosmos, and the magical energies therein, it is come naturally and innate. Yes? Tell me a little bit more. And they sometimes don't have as a steady of control. There is a subsection of sorcery that sounded like sausagery. I heard it. Of sources of sorcery that is uncontrollable to a point where it's it's called wild magic, because sometimes they do spells and they have unintended side effects. Yes. Well, sorcery is just as valid as wizardry for magic, and I equate that to more jazz or improv music, where you work with the music and there is a different ebb and flow, but it's unpredictable and it's exciting and new, and they could possibly theoretically play a song that's never been played before and never again. So I want you to keep an open mind to one's relationship with magic, because coming from an education experience myself, it helps to understand how others do it in order to better yourself. And Rock is like nodding this whole time, and like a big smile starts to grow on his face, because this is already what he had hoped for in Volothamp, instead of the big-headed braggart, too good to remember anyone's name feel. Then as they end the second hallway, then they open back up into the giant theater that has rows and rows of seats and a new backdrop. Bing! With that guy. I need to make this slightly bigger so that guy doesn't keep staring at me. There we go. That's a bit. Now he's just poking up over. There we go. That's good. All right. So then they go into the theater proper, and there's rows and rows and rows of seats. And on stage there is that big 2-story half of a tavern that is on a Lazy Susan and can spin around. A turntable, I guess, not a Lazy Susan, because Lazy Susans aren't directioned, they're lazy, so they just drift on their own accord. But this one's a turntable where it's purposeful, and you see all of the cast and crew on stage, all looking quite similar, and Sheen, kind of in the back of the house, walking down one of the aisles, goes, "All right, now, before we go too far into earshot, they don't exactly know that I'm a doppelganger. So they just think I'm an extraordinary actor, and I have them convinced that backstage I have an excellent makeup and special effects department. But as you well know, there is no makeup or special effects department. So we'll keep it under wraps, just play along, and this is part of that improv." And so then this fat woman, short, rotund, as wide as she is tall, then waddles down the aisle with kind of now a new limp as they're going down the aisle, and then Rock follows behind, and then Sheen, who can change his outward appearance to the minutia, and it's a beautiful thing, but his one flaw is that his voice remains the same. So he waddles down. Hello, good evening, gentlemen and ladies and other entertainers. It is me, Sheen. I'm just practicing. And then there's a couple murmurs and a couple waves on stage. And then, oh, I'm so fat. And then the female form of Sheen is waddling down, and then Rock is kind of perplexed and aghast that this very convincing costume is just like just like a hot knife through butter is cut through with the stagnant voice, kind of dispelling the illusion, but also in a weird way adding to it. So he goes down. Oh, excuse me. Oh, stairs. You know, stairs. Sarah says, I need that Sean Connery, I'm so fat. And that laugh is my new ringtone, please. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. So she's waddling down and like clambering up the stairs. And a couple of the big brown bearded man bunned actors Thank you. Boy, howdy. Yep, that's a new unpredictable thing. That's okay. I have a new concern for the next 2 weeks. So, a couple of the big brown bearded man bunned actors on stage is staring kind of wide-eyed as this big woman is clambering and climbing up and making these really unpleasant noises climbing up the stairs, and they kind of step back a little bit to let her pass, and she goes, "Yes, this is for the new play coming up, so don't worry about it. It's not a low stealth role." Huh. And then she turns around to Rock. "It's really good. You should see it. It doesn't happen weekly, but it feels like it for sure. But here we go." And then she hooks a right and then goes into the wings, and Rock kind of apologetically follows briskly behind her, mouthing I'm sorry to the actors, who resume like picking up a table and putting props away and stuff. So then we go down behind the stage and through another hallway where there are dressing room doors, and at the end is one that has a big old golden hexagon on it, and Sheen gets to it. "Oh, well, let me just get my keys." And then like patting her fatty legs, and like she has pockets on her just round self. "Oh, here they are. I'm just kidding. I don't have keys." And then she opens the door and beckons Rock inside, and he's just taken aback of like, "Oh my goodness, this is amazing, but also so bizarre." And then he enters in, and Rock asks, Do you have to be out on stage? Are they going to rehearse soon?" And Sheen says, "No, it's just a tech rehearsal, so there's like no acting involved whatsoever. You just stand around for hours and have the lights and the sound people figure out thaumaturgy, or the candles inside the lanterns and directional eyes, and have the shutters, and it's frankly just the worst part of theater. So I don't do it, I have a stand-in. And he's probably out there already. They all look the same, but and then this blubberous noise meets this kind of fleshy clap as Sheen falls back into this overly stuffed leather chair, and then splashes, and there's this wet mound of red clay now sitting in the chair looking up at Rock with these two beady black eyes. So, what do I owe the pleasure? Welcome. Are you asking about the tickets? Because we're not quite up yet. Hopefully we'll be up on our feet by right before the end of this Fleet's Wake 10-day, because it's never a good idea to never premiere at the end of a holiday 10-day, because people are entirely hungover after drinking for the past 9 days, or they throw the biggest party ever on the last day. So I've learned from many years not to do that. It's an awful ordeal. You get heckling or an audience that is completely asleep. And Rock goes, well, actually, I wanted to check in on you, because at the end of the 10-day, there is a rather big party at the C Ward, where we have some information from... And then he looks around. Don't worry, boy. Again, this is a soundproof room. Anything you say is between you and me and maybe Wishes, who may or may not be here. And we'll see. We'll see if by the end you can tell the difference. And then Rock... But yes, we have information from Tiffany. Oh, Tiffany, great. How's she? She's fine. She is taking up residence in the Yawning Portal in guise of a half-orc thug, turquoise skin named Yagra Stonefist. Ha! Hilarious. Oh, Tiffany. That's great. Alright. What's the information? Oh, that Circumstance, which is quite a clever name. Yeah, I believe he chose that himself, the right prick. That Circumstance is in the C Ward and may be attending the party thrown by the Nope. The Casa Lanterns and the Groll Hunt at the end of Fleet's Wake. Okay, that tracks, because Circumstance is quite... For someone who can change his appearance, his ego transcends many forms. So, I can see that he would want the attention, despite him not being able to claim it. Oh, that's ironic. I love it. Yes, well, he might be there, but the thing is, that is quite a way away. Today is Shay 22, so that is Shay 30, so that's the whole 10 days, and we as a group decided we didn't want, that is our best option right now, our best lead, but that is a whole 10 days, so we didn't want to leave you unguarded just in case the Mahouts do decide to take advantage of this lull and then strike. So, the rest of the group, our name is Victorious, by the way, so we have a group name. I've never had a group name before. Congratulations, boy. Thank you. The rest of Victorious, before we are Victorious. Clever! That's the whole theme with you and us. Incredibly clever. Yes, they are in the Yawning Portal keeping an eye on Tiffany and Princess Misdirection. Good. Even though Tiffany is quite capable of handling herself, and then Princess Bonnie, well, she's one of the best students I've ever had, so I would consider them poor fools if they've tried to get one past to her, let alone with Tiffany within earshot. So, you, I imagine, are here to babysit me. Well, I volunteer to as well keep an eye on you, which is also quite a bit selfish on my part, because I am honestly thirsty for knowledge. Of course, my wizardy history precedes me, but I am fascinated in the smooth sorcery that you might offer. And then this big sigh, you can see this. Golly, there's so many cars outside today. With this big sigh, you see this wet mound of earth just deflate a little bit, and Sheen's perhaps true form, relaxes and settles in even deeper into the leather chair, which is like the brown orange leather of Texas Longhorns. Hook 'em horns, baby. So I always like that brown orange leather look. Rock's got a little for his saddle, actually. So Sheen relaxes, and then he goes, ugh. Like he interweaves his fat mud fingers together and rests them on his tummy. So, before I teach you some more, I want you to know a little bit more about the doppelgangers and shapeshifters' history. As you know, the appeal of appearing to be anyone in any form is quite tempting, and many have come to Anywhere and tried to learn our past, and many have failed because Anywhere itself is hidden and is quite difficult to get into if you don't know the way. You need to know exactly what you're looking for. So, many have come, many have failed, and those that do get here realize something very important, that the ability to change oneself at will is just a tool for the higher concept of truly being yourself. And that is the value that we in Anywhere hold as one of the highest standards. So, even though we are technically hiding here in Waterdeep, all we sincerely want is to truly be ourselves and not be persecuted or hunted or sought after by others, but especially those from nowhere. And which brings the question, why Rock? The Rock. Are you interested in the illusionary arts?
Well, I've given this quite a bit of consideration, especially since arriving here at Waterdeep, but I don't want to not be myself. That is not the end goal. I do feel that with every person that I am, then I do learn a bit more about myself, Rock the Purple, the half-orc wizard. And with that comes a greater understanding and knowledge of myself, and then of all the rest of creature kind. And I believe that the more forms I inhabit, then the more I understand about others and their plights, and I feel constantly tapped into a big source of empathy and sympathy, and I believe that in turn makes me a better wizard, a better being, and I am fascinated to continue to learn more, because there are some that I had a weak opportunity to learn from, but I felt that they did not demonstrate the emotional strength or maturity that I hope to achieve, and that I, if I may be so bold, that I see within you.
Oh, that's very sweet. Flattery will get you everywhere and anywhere. Wink.
Well, that didn't mean... that wasn't meant to be flattery that meant to be more of a compliment and words of affirmation?
I took them as such.
You...
For your confidence in your magic, we need to, perhaps, work a little bit more on confidence in yourself, because that was a lovely and eloquent explanation, but I can see every once in a while that you stumble over simple words and stuff, so that will be for another day, but just something I noticed within my many years of teaching and educational experience.
Yes.
Rock chose his words very carefully. Now, since we are being persecuted and run amok, then I do want to let you know that the Harpers... Oh, no, he wouldn't know about the Harpers. That... from what you told me about the Harpers, that they are in our favor. They want to help. What are the Harpers ding dong about? Oh boy! Because it was in my notes. Golly. Mike, this is a good time if you want to cut out just while I'm preparing this. So then I don't have to worry about it. Alright. So, putting all that shit together. Oh, I don't need this book over here anymore. Excuse me while I reorganize. It's been a hell of a 2 weeks. So, let's see. Factions. There we go. All my shit is, well, okay, except for this last 2 minutes, but all my shit is so organized. I love it. Harpers are altruists who work behind the scenes to keep power out of the hands of evil tyrants. So, they are good people. Various nobles and guildmasters in the city are Harper sympathizers with, you just mentioned, empathy and sympathy. But I do want to let you know that I have heard word of another group that is perhaps not so kind towards doppelgangers. The Emerald Enclave. They demonstrate an interest in protecting nature or the natural order, and they think that we threaten the balance of power, that through some twisted idea that our innate camouflage and shape-shifting will somehow disrupt the natural balance. And I think that is ridiculous, because that we are somehow unnatural. But an octopus is natural. Camouflage in the form of an owl's plumage to hide themselves in the forest, or a stick bug, is completely natural. We are just an advanced species, evolutionarily speaking. So, the Emerald Enclave who worship nature should know this best of all, but the thing people fear most is not monsters, but change. So, as we go forth, I want you to keep an eye out for that. As everything in life and the world and nature is balanced, or should be balanced, so as much empathy. Speaking of Sean Connery, it's quite difficult sometimes. So, as much empathy as you claim to be, then know somewhere that there's someone equally as unempathetic as you are. And it's both disheartening if you think about it too much, or encouraging, because then you know that you are an outlier. So that you balance out some bad elsewhere. And we don't even talk about elsewhere yet. And we haven't even talked about elsewhere yet. Anywhere, nowhere, elsewhere. Elsewhere has some lovely crepes. But I digress. So, and then he adjusts his just big old damp earthen form to kind of like lean forward. Now, I'm gonna teach you some big magics, because you, I can tell, have a big heart and a big brain, and you want to fill both. And as Sheen talks a little bit, then Rock goes, "Oh, my apologies. I'm only able to understand and learn first level and second level spells. So what you are describing right now are quite a bit bigger, and those are third or even fourth level spells." "Yes, but tell me, when a child shows interest in perhaps understanding something that is above their mental capacities right now, do you tell them no? Tell them that them asking questions of why is the sky blue or why is water wet, that those are above their learning capabilities?" "Well, no, certainly not." "Well, then why would I do the same to you? Yes, there are higher magics, and the only way to get there is by practicing and understanding higher concepts. So, Rock, the Purple Rock, the half-orc wizard, do you care to share in this knowledge with me?" "Well, of course." "Well, then why interrupt me, boy?" "Great." So, sit down, pull up that ottoman. And then underneath the makeup counter, which is gaudy and has a mirror on it and lots of small little continual flame candles about it, and memorabilia from 20 different shows, like little cards or little tokens or little drawings and handwritten notes. Then Rock pulls out this overstuffed ottoman and kind of sits/straddles it. And then Sheen goes, "All right, so here's a list of spells that I could perhaps teach you." And this is the Rock Wizard spell sheet, which these are all the wizard spells in the book, including, well, in all of the books, because I looked on D&D Beyond and looked up all of the wizard spells. So not only are they from the Player's Handbook, but also from Strixhaven curriculum. Wait, what is... No, one of them is... What's that one? Oh, Sword Coast Adventurer Guide, or Evil Elemental Player's Companion and stuff, and Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, and Xanathar's Guide to Everything, etc. So these are all the wizard spells, period. So, here, and then Sheen snatches the paper back, and then with a pencil nearby at like this side table that is also like has 5 different Sharpies and pencils and pens and quills for next to ink pots for autographs of any and all kind. Then Sheen snatches the paper back, and then with a pencil, like, "I'm underlining some that I think you would particularly like." And then he hands it back, and then, oh, let me see. Counterspell and Dispel Magic as a level 3rd spell? Oh, those are amazing. Let's see. Tongues? Ooh, I could even have a better mastery over languages, because I am certainly, I'm trying to learn. And then Rock noticed that he was stumbling over his words a little bit. I am trying to learn Sylvan and Aasimar Sign Language, and perhaps a dash of Draconic. But that would definitely help. Scorching Ray, perhaps for level 2, but also we have for illusion spells for level 3, Fear, Hypnotic Pattern, Major Image, Phantom Steed. Oh, that's amazing. And then his eyes fall on one spell. Tell me. Tell me, Sheen. For the amount of time that we have tonight, perhaps, would we limit ourselves to just one spell? And then Sheen kind of stretching out. He's bleeding, and Sheen kind of stretching out. Then, well, since it is higher magic, then it will take arguably more time than normal, and because I am a font of information, then I will waive the fee that normally comes with learning new magic. But for tonight's tech rehearsal, then yeah, I feel that it may only be just one spell. So choose wisely. And he said with like a grin and another wink. And these winks, like, Rock has felt very comfortable in a learning situation, especially from his time at the university, and this harkens back to the security of being in a college and the comfort and routine and the joy of learning new things. Rock, just like other Ravenclaws, like my father, are lifelong learners. So, and just like my father, my dad, who is spending some free time learning German. So that's really fun. Poppy, I am now seeing a lot of Rock in you, or a lot of you in Rock. So that's fun. But Rock, then hearing that we may only have time for one spell, then he goes, I see. Well, and then you can tell his energy kind of has fallen a little bit as he hands back the piece of paper. There is one spell that I believe has the highest priority because it will immediately and directly help and affect 4 people that I know directly and actively. And he looks down at the sheet, and then Sheen crumbles up his face. Is it Fear? Not really. Oh, Fast Friends from Acquisitions Incorporated. That will help many more than just 4 friends, because you can make fast friends. No. It's down at the bottom, and then a heliotrope finger points out the only spell that starts with an R in the level 3 wizard spell list. And then Sheen scrunches up his face even more. Now, Rock the Purple, the half-orc wizard, you have an amazing intellect, and we were just talking about big hearts and big minds. You are foregoing counterspell and dispel magic, which are very good. You are foregoing tongues and 4 illusion spells. So tell me, why do you want to learn Remove Curse? And then we cut to... That's beautiful. Honestly, what a good scene. So we cut to Toot Toot thumping back into his chair at the yawning portal, sitting at the table with Tipsy, the forest gnome rogue, whose cheeks are reddening, and Onyx, who is instead of the totem spirit of the polar bear, which he normally has. Tonight he is having the totem spirit of an owl because his round head with the gazer helmet. Let's adjust that, actually. Pop, pop. So his round head with the gazer helmet is just turned 180 degrees around and is pretty much staring at Tiffany relentlessly. And then Toot Toot sits down. Well, that performance. No. Get out of my mouth, Sheen. Well, hold on. The podcast? No, hold on. Toot Toot, the locked and unbarred. There we go. And then Toot Toot sits down. Well, that performance didn't go exactly as one would hope. One with proficiency in performance, and perhaps the whole class revolving around being a bard. That was embarrassing. And then Tipsy having his third or fourth breakfast beer. Right, I mixed up the time. So, yeah, it's fine. So Tipsy having his third or fourth breakfast beer going, I'm really good at practical jokes now. Yes. Well, let's see. I will roll for them again. Okay. That is a 15, a 15, and a 12. Those are very good numbers. So, then Toot Toot sitting back down spends the next 2 hours kind of keeping an eye out for Bonnie and Tiffany, who both make numerous laps around the tavern. Bonnie is serving drinks and food and platters to a rambunctious lot because this is the second day of Fleet's Wake. Actually, I'm going to pause real quick. So the mic only cut out once or twice. That's fine. I'm keeping an eye on the bar. But mic-wise, is there any crackling or popping? Because this is 51 minutes into the recording, and it's an hour and 11 or an hour and 12 minutes into the actual stream. So is that still good? Mommy, Papi, Sam? I would love to see... Yes, the mic is great. Because I did 50 different things. No popping that I can hear. Amazing. Thank goodness. Because that is awful. And that will be a pain in the butt to edit for the podcast. So. Yay. Okay. Well. I will continue. So. Tiffany saying, yes. Awesome. I figured that out. Great. Halfway there. So, Bonnie is going around and serving a whole bunch of rambunctious people because this is the second day of a 10-day holiday for Fleet's Wake. And then Tiffany stands guard for the numerous people walking and having meetings with Dabble Star Song. But she doesn't have to stay by his side the whole time. So she is free to wander, and she does. You get a sense that she just needs to stretch her legs sometimes, so she makes a couple laps around the yawning portal. She goes up the stairs just as a an exercise. You can see her running up the spiral stairs to the second and third floor and then running back down just to get in some steps. She comes over and She makes a lap around the table with 3/4 of Victorious on it and just deposits an empty tankard just cuz and goes off, and it's kind of funny. And it's a little bit funny, this feeling inside. Yeah, she drops off an empty tankard and then just... She drops off an empty tankard. She drops off the empty tankard at the victorious table and then just goes around and takes Tipsy's 5th breakfast beer, and he goes, "No, why?" And then he sees his 6th breakfast tankard in front of him. Oh, okay, no, never mind, it's all good. And after like 2 hours going on 3, then Toot Toot is kind of getting restless as Tipsy's getting tipsy. And Onyx, the very one-track mind dwarf barbarian, is just relentlessly staring at Tiffany. And then after the 6th breakfast tankard is a great band name. So Toot Toot, just getting squirrely and antsy, is going, Onyx, could you please sit down? I think you've been making her uncomfortable for quite a while. And then let's have that as a roll-off. So Toot Toot will roll persuasion, and then Onyx will roll... I'm just going to roll Onyx's die and then see what happens. So, Toot Toot with a 12 plus 8 for persuasion at 20, and then Onyx with a 3. He goes, oh, okay. And then he slinks down into his chair and then huffs. And then Toot Toot goes, okay, gentlemen, nothing is happening. Are we just going to spend all day here? Tipsy goes, yes, let me finish. Are we just going to spend all day here? What happens if nothing happens?
Then we just, we keep going, baby. This is how we do.
Then Tipsy, already slurring, will roll 5 on the Tipsy drunk table. Let's bring that bad boy up. So that is this drunk. All right, a 5. Tipsy's drunk table is one of the best tables I've made for all of D&D, because then Tipsy goes,
What if the M word that you don't like,
and I'm sorry that they were so mean to you and your family. Well, what if they come here to the yawning portal and then they try and hurt our friends, and then you guys are my friends, and then Bonnie is my friend, and then Yagra is my friend. Where's Rock? And then Tutu goes, good gods, man, it's fine. We're just sitting here, nothing's happening. I don't want me to come off that I'm always just drinking. That's not really my whole personality, even though it's my name. I'm sorry. It's fine. Most of the time I think it's a joke. It's not a joke. Alcoholism is a disease. And Tipsy rolled a 5 on the drinking table, which is emotional. So Toot Toot goes, it's fine. I promise. You are, perhaps, as people are like craning their necks over to look at this ruckus at the table, you are perhaps sometimes the unstealthiest little rogue I know. And I don't know that many rogues. Am I a bad rogue? No, you're not. No. I'm just saying that you just don't even worry about it. And then I realized that we still have the theater thing up, so pop, Spring Street Day.
Okay. I just love you guys so much.
I love you too. Just be a little bit quieter, please. Huh. And then Onyx, looking across the table, realizes that he's pretty far behind Tipsy at this point, drinking-wise. Bonnie, can I have another drink? And so Onyx is going to start drinking a bunch. And then Tipsy, who I love, Tipsy Bottle Opener, the rogue, the Forest Gnome rogue, because he has a constitution of 10, which makes a modifier of 0. And that's just very funny to me. So then, after just a little bit and Bonnie bringing some more drinks, which they don't have to pay for, then Onyx is chugging. But he has a +5 Constitution saving throw. So we'll see if Onyx gets smashed as well. A 15 + 5. He's holding it better, but he's going on like his 6th and 7th and 8th beer. So Toot Toot's like, oh, golly, this is not fun for me. I wish something were to happen right now. And then you hear cling, 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 cling as the door open, and then some scritches. As this bundle comes in. And then you hear a,
Oh, there he is.
and then you see a pretty crowded entrance kind of part, as if in like the first episode where Tipsy was going through a crowd, but he is very short, so you just see people get pushed aside, and then you see something like the top of maybe a basket just bobbing along, and then squirreling up to a table. Then you hear as three red scaled taloned claws grip the table, and then 3 more as 3 tiny dragon-like people, 3 kobolds, red kobolds, straighten up and then like push chairs underneath them so that they're at table level, and they go,
We've been looking for you.
and this is tax, shipping, and handling, my 3 kobolds.
You have not come back to the Convex Crimson, and we have a lot more inventory now.
Oh, well, we've been busy, and we just went in for the winter clothes, and since it's warming up to spring, then we just figured we'd wear our outfits that we were wearing beforehand.
Yes, we noticed that, and so we drew you.
You did what now?
Yes, we drew you.
Handling says, peering up over the table.
Yes, we drew you, and then we decided to put you on a lot of stuff.
I'm afraid you are losing me.
Here, it's better we explain.
And then shipping takes off this giant, like, cylindrical basket that he was wearing as a backpack and kind of knocks it over onto the table, clattering some dishes and some tankards out of the way. And he goes,
I'm shipping.
Yes, I remember you are tax, shipping, and handling.
Yes, I'm the one to carry all of these.
And so clatters onto the table. And then hold on 2 seconds. Let me figure out something here real quick. Okay. I don't know if it happened. Okay, great. So Tax opens up the giant wicker basket backpack, and then he reaches in, and then you can see a bunch of odds and ends and miscellany inside. And then he goes,
So, we've been drawing you, and then we decided to put you on a whole bunch of stuff. So,
he takes out this little envelope and then opens it up. And then he goes,
well, first of all, if you like any of these drawings, then we have them in sticker form.
and so then he pulls out one that looks like Tipsy, one that looks like Onyx, one that looks like Rock, and then one that looks like Toot Toot.
That's a sticker, and then a glossy sticker, and then a transparent sticker, and then we also have magnets. Tipsy.
Then he cranes his neck over to Tipsy, who's, these are beautiful. What?
Tipsy, because you like drinking, then we also have the classic mug, and then we have a tall mug, and then a travel mug, and then a water bottle, and then what do you need for all those? You, of course, need coasters.
And then Tipsy, these all have my face on it. I love them so much. I'm going to take at least one of all of them.
Oh, yes, please do. Onyx.
And then Tax like looks across the table to a stunned Onyx who's just being mesmerized and hypnotized as all of these things are coming out of the basket.
Onyx, for you we have shirts. We have classic t-shirts. And then, of course, for you, Onyx, with your big old arm muscles, we have the tank top because sleeves are bullshit. And then, oh, where's the other one?
And then he looks over to Rock's empty seat, and then Toot Toot, he's on another adventure.
Oh, well, we also have pillows. We have a floor pillow and a throw pillow, but all of his things.
And then Tax points to the empty chair.
Has the light lavender background, all heliotrope, just like he's skin.
And then Handling, who's like sitting by the wicker basket. Shipping is holding the basket steady as Tax is pulling everything out, but then Handling, as soon as Tax says
the same color as his skin,
then Handling reaches out his claws and kind of
clamps them together. Skin.
Yeah.
Oh, and then you Toot Toot, you are locks it on board. You have big old carrying capacity.
Let me actually look that up because it is relevant. Relevant for the elephant. LMAO. Laughing my ass off.
Skin.
Thank you, Sarah, for redeeming that. For highlight. And then Tax points over at Toot Toot. And he goes,
you have powerful build. You're considered large for carrying capacity. You can carry up to 450 pounds, or you could push, drag, and lift 900 pounds. You need something to carry all of that. And then all of these,
as he gestures towards all the goods out on the table so far.
So you need a drawstring bag and a tote bag and then a second tote bag. One is cotton.
And then Toot Toot, now being overwhelmed by all these things that Tax just keeps pulling out of this basket, and then both Shipping and Handling are going skin. And then Toot Toot, gentlemen, this is a lot.
Oh, well, there's even more. There are pins for each of you, and hats for each of you, and masks for each of you, and then you.
He points over at Onyx.
For you, we know that you like trophies and then getting in the muck of things. So we have a red shower curtain so that you can wash off all the blood, and then a bath mat. They're like the brown pants.
And then Shipping and Handling are going,
brown pants.
And then Tax points to the empty seat.
And for him, where he's
again, he's doing his own little side quest right now.
Okay, well, for him, we have hardcover journal, and we have spiral notebook also for him, because we know he likes books.
And then finally, Tax points over to Tipsy, who is just like, you can see him, his bottom lip quivering, and then just these giant tears building up underneath his eyes. And he goes, I love all of these so much. And then Tax points at Tipsy and goes,
and for you, we decide to give your rat something. So we have a mouse pad for your little rat.
And so I just want y'all to admire this real quick. Took me 45 minutes to cut out all these and save them as PNGs. And all of these are available now on Redbubble. So the in-game store mechanic that I have of the Crimson Convex, you can buy all of these things now because I recently put all my boys as merchandise. Like, I uploaded all of their visages, because we spent 3 D&' artistries, 1 doing the outlines, 2 doing the colors, and 3 doing the details, so that I can finally make my own merchandise of them instead of the Hero Forges. So, with this pile of merch now built up on this yawning portal table, then Tutu goes, "My goodness, you've all been busy, haven't you?"
Yes, we have.
And then he gestures out his fingers, and you can see giant calluses on the pads of them.
It hurts, but good.
And then now this giant pile of like shirts and hats and stuff is drawing attention. And then Tutu is, can you put some of that away?
Okay. So again, sticker, glossy sticker, transparent sticker, magnet, classic mug, tall mug, travel mug, water bottle, coasters, shirts, tank top, floor pillow, throw pillow, drawstring bag, tote bag, other tote bag. That is cotton.
Interrupts.
Shipping. Yes, that is cotton. Pins, hats, masks, shower curtain, bath mats, hardcover journal, spiral notebook, and a bottle of mouse pad.
My goodness, that is all a lot. I would pay good gold for all of those. And yes, literally all of those you can buy on Redbubble. I put up the red shower curtain and bath mat for Onyx as a joke. So if anyone buys that, I'll send you something. I'll sign something and send it to you, because that is way too funny. Anyways, so then Toot Toot will go, let's see.
That is cotton.
And then Tipsy is kind of gathering all of the things with his face on them, and then slowly sniffling. I'm beautiful. This is beautiful. A rhino's mouse pad. What's a mouse pad? And then Shipping goes,
It's a place for him to sleep if he wants. It's like a pad for him to sleep on.
I love it. And then he uses it to like dab his underneath his eyes. I'm gonna buy one of all of them.
Well, literally, a lot of this stuff, almost everything, is actually, like, for all of you. Like, all the t-shirts and stuff, all of you have these. So, if you all want to buy all of the things that you have on your face.
And then Onyx, I would like the shower curtain with my face on it, and then the bath mat with my face on it, because of red to wash away the blood. One of each of those, please. Toot Toot, you have your own private bath. Do you want one of these? I'm gonna say a hard... he's gonna roll for it. Evens, yes, odd, no. 8. I guess. I really to support Onyx. And then Onyx beams. I'll get you one. Which one do you want? All right. Gifts are your primary love language. Shower curtain. Shower curtain is odd. Bath mat is even. 19 odd. I want the shower curtain with your face on it, so whenever I use the bathroom, then I have a bloody reminder of the dwarf barbarian, and you are staring at me. And then Onyx, super just beaming, goes, we will have 2 shower curtains and a bath mat, please.
Okay, yeah. Give me gold.
So an exchange of gold happens, and then Tipsy, let's see if he buys one of everything with his face on it. I mean, he, out of everyone, he has the gold for it, because he has 900 gold. So 2 even. Yes. I want it all. So he will buy all of those things with his face on it. I feel bad already for this week's future Victor, because he's gonna have to create prices for all of these, and then from the future you hear no. So yeah, oh my gosh, Tipsy wearing all of Tipsy's merch that's a D&D artistry that I can get behind. So a sticker and all the also everybody, everything's coming together because guess what new property needs glassware and cups and mugs and stuff? Tipsy's Tavern. Guess who is buying all of the stuff with Tipsy on it? Tipsy. Oh my gosh, is he just going to deck out Tipsy's Tavern with Redbubble merch? That's first of all, the dice told me about that. Second, this is masturbatory to a whole new echelon. I'm quite impressed. Good job, Victor. So Tipsy, as he's slowly emotionally putting on a baseball cap and y'all, Redbubble has 18 different types of shirts and hoodies and lightweight sweaters and stuff. So he's slowly putting on a baseball cap that's too big for him, so he looks like a kid with it coming down to his pointy ears, and then sniffling as he's putting his arm through one of the sleeves that he has to gather up a whole bunch.
Waddles. Yeah. How many mouse pads do you want? Just one. Okay. You're so good.
Oh my gosh. So, yeah, Dodie or something, are you going to make a mug with Tipsy and Tipsy's Tavern on it? So, that was literally my segue. Tipsy, as he's Waddles, good job, Victor. Thank you. So, as he takes one of the pins, and then he's figuring out, the pin part of it on the back, the needle, he goes, oh, you guys, tax shipping and handling, you've treated us so well. The one time we saw you.
Yeah, we did. You're welcome.
And then handling still going,
Ski.
Oh, I think he just earned himself a fucking sticker.
Skiing.
Oh my god. That's so funny. Holy crap. Okay, so
Ski.
Oh, Sarah, I'm so glad you're back, because that's so funny. Oh. I'm sure that this is very distracting, Sarah. So if you just want to put me on in the background and then mute me so that you can write, I totally understand. Oh my god. That's so funny. Oh. That's oh my gosh, Sarah.
Worth it. Worth it. Skiing.
Sarah, last week, Tipsy and Onyx and Toot Toot were at the table, and then they were talking about Fleet's Wake, so Toot Toot asked Onyx if he actually met Umberlee, who is the goddess of the sea. Yeah, that needs to be a sticker. I'm already hearing the... a future Victor writing that down. Golly, that's so funny. But... last week, Toot Toot asked Onyx about his nautical adventures, and then Tipsy went,
Hey, Onyx.
yeah,
Did you interact with semen?
a whole bunch of it. There's semen everywhere. And I couldn't get through that without laughing, so that was very funny. Yeah, we had to swab the decks because there was semen everywhere. Golly, that's funny. Okay, so... then Tipsy putting on all these things and being real emotional about it, he goes,
You three who have helped us in our time of need when we needed warmer clothes. Can you do merchandise for our tavern?
And then all three of them perk up. Sarah in the chat says, beautiful. I've taught you well. Yes, absolutely. All three kobolds perk up.
Explain.
We just named our tavern, and it's such a good name.
Oh yeah, what name? What name?
Tipsy's Tavern.
That is a very good name for. That's a very good name for it.
And then, like, you see all three of them kind of whip out notepads, and then with their talons, then instead of a writing utensil thing.
Oh, we could do coasters. Oh, lots of coasters.
And then they're figuring all that out. Oh, and I guess Tipsy's Tavern merch is now rising up in my priorities list, but they're figuring stuff out.
Yes.
Because I'm gonna buy all of me on it, but I think for the Tipsy's Tavern it could be like, I'm sorry, that was a lot of breakfast beer in my mouth trying to get out of my mouth.
It's okay.
Okay, so I'm imagining like a place where it has a lot of themed merch, and then we can work out a deal, you and Tipsy's Tavern, the Crimson Convex, and then the Tipsy's Tavern, where I'm thinking like a whole bunch of themed merchandise, and it could either have waddles on it. Yeah, shot glasses and coasters, says Mom in the chat. Yeah. And then Sarah this morning, or earlier today, we were texting and Sarah said that she wants D&Me koozies. So that is absolutely going to happen. Tipsy says, so either themed merch with waddles on it, so like a big rat, and then he's smiling, and then we could like offer kids pizza and stuff, and then they can come and play games. And then Tutu goes, no, hold on, this is the first I'm hearing about this. This is a tavern. Like, there's going to be adult beverages there. And then like the floors will be all sticky, and then we'll have like a giant robot rat that will be creepy, and I think it'll be amazing. Tipsy, I don't think we're talking about the same. Are you okay? And then, I do love my hat so much. And then Tipsy collapses onto the, like, just face plants into the table. Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah, so maybe not so much that, my kobold kiddos, but I think I knew where he was going, where Tipsy's Tavern, like, if we could have some ideas for that, like maybe a barrel, or I mean, this silhouette looks good. And then he Tutu gestures over to Tipsy, just passed out with one of his arms dangling over the table edge, and then the three kobolds' heads turn, and then you hear as all three of them are sketching out this passed out Tipsy.
Oh, the contouring. Oh, yes, contouring. Scheme.
And so all three of them are sketching up Tipsy.
We will have designs for you soon. It took us a while to get the other ones, but we will have them soon. Tutu, you want to buy?
Do I want to buy any of those things? I mean, I think everyone should, as people are still standing around staring at this giant pile of pretty much stark white merchandise with some designs on it. I think everyone should, support the endeavors of this excellent design work. But scheme. That's so funny, y'all. So funny. Handling is such a freaking creepoid. And then Sarah wrote that so well. It redeemed highlight my message. Anyways. Oh, fuck. That's the most I laughed in a while. Oh boy, did I need that. And thank you, Mike, for not crapping out on me. No, that's funny. Okay, I can only say I'm tired once an episode now, and I can only make Mike gone wrong jokes once an episode because I don't want to do that too many times. Anyway, so Tipsy bought one of everything with his face on it. Onyx bought 2 shower curtains and a bath mat. And then Toot Toot, does he need anything? Of course you don't need any of this stuff, but yes. I will buy 1 sticker for each of us.
Oh, okay. We imagine those are going to be the best sellers anyway. Yes. Everyone loves how you look now.
Thank you. So Toot Toot will spend like 4 copper buying stickers of each of the boys. And then he gets them. But seriously, can you take a lot of this off the table? And then one of the patrons, one of the other customers of the awning portal actually steps forward. Well, those are really cool. Can I take a look at it?
Yes, here you go. So we got pins and hats and
and then like tax and shipping, of course, tax and shipping, gather everything else, and then follow this part of the crowd that's bunching up to look at this really cool merchandise, and then handling Estelle to table, kind of just his hands are pulsating open and closed, and his talons are clacking. And they're very short kobolds, so him at a big table, you can see like his arms up and then his kind of chin resting. Thank you very much, handling. I no longer need your services. And then he he jumps down and then joins the rest. And then tax, shipping, and handling is helping sell D&Me merchandise to the awning portal. That's very good. So you can actually find all this merch on... All right, here's a big link. Ready? redbubble.com/people/D&Me adventures, and like gnome, /shop. And the slashes are actually that way. So again, redbubble.com/people/D&Me adventures /shop, or you could just go onto my link tree and then it's under D&Me merchandise, the Redbubble store. So yeah, we have the... I promise I'll stop shelling out here in a second, but I spent a lot of effort on these for the past month. So we have the D&Me dice logos. That's also a pumpkin when I did it for Halloween, and then a Christmas ornament when I did it for Christmas. I should do Easter egg ones. Future Victor. I did this banner, my new profile, where it has all my boys and nice little background, and then all of my boys, and a design that I did for my dad and my abuela, my grandma, who lives in Mexico. It's a very Mexican themed D&Me Mexico. So yeah, those are all the things you can find on Redbubble right now. I am going to put up the Toot Toot variant, where this Monday we did a D&D artistry where I colored in Toot Toot as the elephant misfit toy from the Claymations. So he's going to go up, and then I have a bunch of other ideas that I will work on. But I wanted to have a good old tax and shipping and handling scene because I remember that being a lot of fun, and this one was certainly very fun. It is almost intermission time. Well, no, it is intermission time, so I'm going to refill my water bottle and use the restroom, and I encourage y'all to do the same. For tonight's intermission, it's going to be slightly different, so enjoy.
Hi, I'm Tipsy the Forest Gnome Rogue, and while Victor is taking his intermission to poop,
Hey!
he let me be in charge, so I have 1 minute to do whatever I want. So, I'm gonna sing. Yeah. Because singing is good for intermissions, right? So, rat, yes, so dang cute. Ah, he is my best friend. And then let's see, what's another rat song? Rats. Oh, there's a whole cat musical. Can we adopt it for Rodentia? Cat. If you're a rat all the way from your first cigarette to your last. Oh man, okay, my minute's over. Enjoy the intermission, the commercial thingy. Yee. Hi, I'm Victor Rivera. This is D&Me, where I play with myself. I play D&D with myself. This is an actual play show 5th edition where I DM and play 4 characters of campaigns past. Hi, I'm Tipsy the Forest Gnome Rogue. We stream Wednesday nights on Twitch, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we throw the video up on YouTube Thursday mornings. And I have a rat named Waddles. He's cute.
I'm Onyx the Dwarf Barbarian. We do other stuff.
I'm Rock the Half-Orc Wizard. We do D& Artistry and Art Stream on Tuesday nights, and D&Me'd Like to Drink one Monday a month, where we grab a glass of something good and chat about how D&Me's going, answering audience questions, but mostly going on tipsy tangents. That's me!
And I am Toot the Loxodon Bard. If you want to catch up with the current campaign, listen to the first episodes in their edited podcast form, which you can find on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor.fm, and others. And if you want to catch up even quicker, watch D&Recaps, where we summarize 5 episodes of D&Me at a time. And we also have D&Me Extras, which are fun little behind-the-scene videos. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and a bunch of other places where? On our link tree, that's linktr.ee/DNMeAdventures and like gnome. Thanks!
We're so professional.
Yeah, so I'm going to do some new intermissions. 33 episodes in because my reels are fun and all. However, this is a show. Oh, I'm just using the wrong thing. Hee hee. All right. Whoops. Well, then what's this one? There we go. Yes, I was using the wrong mic. Yeah, so I have the mic, and then I have the desktop audio, where the laptop was recording me for a little bit. Thank you. Thank you very much. I was like, hold on a second. So, yeah, I did something new for intermission, where 33 episodes in, instead of my reels that I have been doing, I wanted a commercial for D&Me, and so now I have a lot to plug in that 1 minute, and it was awesome compiling all that together and then recording a new intermission, and then that is my new channel trailer for YouTube and Twitch. So there you go, and it's also a great pitch, so if anyone you know who doesn't really know about D&Me, you can send them that 1 minute, and then they can know all of the D&Me. And because I did something, D&Recaps, then my mom and my dad suggested that I incorporate character voices, so that's why my boys explained D&Me instead of me going, all right, so it's D&, Artistry also. So because the first channel trailer was me introducing the boys, but now the boys are introducing the show. So there we go. Anyways, and we're back. Hello. Thank you for being here tonight. That scene was very funny. So we are going to cut to the theater. Boop. As Sheen just asked Rock, why learn remove curse? So, hold on. Sean Conroy. There we go. And then Rock goes, well, I feel that I have a whole life ahead of me where I can learn spells, and I plan on learning as quite a large number of spells to make up for those who do not have as long to learn the spells they were destined to, he says, thinking very much of the hundreds of blank pages in Grumshar's spellbook. But this particular spell, Remove Curse, would be directly applicable and helpful for one of my very good friends, and then 3 of his good friends, well, yes, good friends, where they as well have had time stolen from them that can be remedied and their future resolved with Remove Curse. And then Sheen was very quietly listening, and he goes, well, believe it or not, but you have earned even more points through that selfless act. So, rock the purple, rock the half-orc wizard. Rock the half-orc wizard. Are you ready to take notes? And then Rock, whose face was very solemn and contemplative and thoughtful, then blasts into brightness. And he goes, Sheen, I am so ready. Let us please learn this spell. So, over the next couple hours, what is the mechanic of learning spells again? Because I have been fudging it for a little bit, for a while. But I want to, right now, work out stuff. Sorcerer, Rogue, whoop, too far. Warlock.
Wizard.
Your spellbook. Okay. That's really obnoxious. When you find a wizard spell of first level or higher, you can add it to your spellbook if it is of a spell level you can prepare, and if you can spare the time to decipher and copy it. Copying that spell into your spellbook involves reproducing the basic form of the spell, then deciphering the unique system of annotation used by the wizard who wrote it. You must practice the spell until you understand the sounds or gestures required, then transcribe it into your spellbook using your own notation. For each level of the spell, the process takes 2 hours and costs 50 gold pieces. So, according to the book, a level 3 spell will take 6 hours and cost 150 gold pieces. The cost represents material components you expend as you experiment with the spell to master it, as well as the fine inks you need to record it. Once you have spent this time and money, you can prepare the spell just like your other spells. So, that's interesting. Yeah, very interesting. So 6 hours is what we're doing, and because Sheen is a generous tutor, then I'm waiving the cost, because then my half-orc wizard would be 120 gold in debt. But learning Remove Curse, and that's fun because in my head it was going to be a lot more complicated to learn Remove Curse. So the fact that Rock, like, really, I set up that Sheen was going to teach Rock a couple illusion spells, but when I saw that, I was like, that's a very selfless thing that would be lovely. So that's what's happening. So over the next little while, 6 hours, which if anyone who has done theater knows that a tech rehearsal, 6 hours is a very quick tech rehearsal. So there's still plenty of time. And technically Rock started at the beginning of the day instead of night, which I kept saying. But over the course of 6 hours, then Sheen talks to Rock about medicine and having Rock roll medicine check. Yeah, which is only +1, so we'll see how that goes. On my desk, I have my 3 d20s, all with natural 20 facing upwards so that they can remember this muscle memory. A 16 plus a 1. That's great. A 17. So then Rock, whenever Sheen is talking about how a curse can take hold of a body, then Rock is right there. And every curse that Sheen brings up, then Rock has either heard of it or has read about it in university. And Sheen goes, well, actually, speaking of theater, there was an instance where a very young kid who is paired up with a very famous character, then he underwent this malevolence, and it is something in the cursed child. I don't remember the first part, the famous person, but that is a piece of theater and a stage, and it's actually a 2-parter. So if you do it, then you need to watch the first part and then the second part. But I haven't seen it yet. I read the script, and I was happy at the time for a new piece of this universe, of this world of wizarding, but anyways, let's continue. So they talk more about curses, and then with that 17 medicine check, then of the various methods of curing curses, but some can be almost like venom sucked out of the wound, but others attach themselves instead of a corporeal form then to your soul itself. So the almost surgical precision needed in order to distinguish what the ethereal self is versus a put-on curse, and whether that curse is then slathered onto your spirit or woven in or sometimes diluted within. So then they talk about different methodologies of either distilling or almost through a centrifuge, spinning oneself and separating them, or going in and distinguishing within a character what is badness already in them. And the controversial but very important to know that there is bad within everyone, but you need to know what to leave in the body. You can't just take out all the badness. That is not how remove curse works, and it's not necessarily going back to balance, going back to Churrascario, the darkness shadow play in art, that sometimes some of the best art has these deep pockets of black shadow in order to make the rest of it pop. So they're talking about that, and then sometimes the origins of curses. And it's quite fascinating to learn all of those things. Victor made up all of that on the spot, because Victor doesn't know a thing about curses, but that all makes sense, huh? That all sounded legit. He knew what he was talking about. So let's go to and then another poppy similarity with Rock right now. Then one of these hours is used to investigate and learn about the inner chi of a person. where within a body there is pressure points that can harken back to acupuncture, but also and since Rock was thumbing through Tipsy's quickness of manual of action, then he was starting to learn a little bit about all of the reflexology in a foot. And then he learned about the hand and then the bumps on the head. So they're learning about the living body because Remove Curse is a touch spell. So much like massage therapy, then it all starts with the tactile interaction, and that's how it is cast. At your touch, all curses affecting one creature or object end. If the object is a curse magic item, its curse remains, but the spell breaks its owner's attunement to the object, so it can be removed or discarded. And that's all it says about Remove Curse. But yeah, Rock asks Sheen during this chakras. That's also a bit about like the body and then the different regions of it. But Rock asks, Sheen, so the individual that we are talking about, his name is Algernon, that can be directly in more actively healed with the Remove Curse than his son and daughter, which I was telling you about, which is the wish spell. I'm afraid I can't teach you that one, boy. I am not privy to that the highest magics. So, thank you for not asking. You're welcome. But there's still plenty of magic that I do want to learn from you, especially Fear and Hypnotic Pattern and Major Image and Phantom Steed. But this one is more dire, more urgent. And I have a great deal of respect for you for that, so continue. Yes, so Algernon has been cursed for decades, it seems, and then he was bitten and then passed the lycanthropy curse on to his children through their natural birth. So the Remove Curse would be more effective for him, but I hypothesized that it would take more than one casting in order to cure, because it has been decades, and a simple casting of Remove Curse may, in fact, not heal that much time. What are your thoughts on the matter? Well, going back to nature, say that a stream has been poisoned, has been polluted by a nearby village for decades. Will it take one simple pass to go through and collect and sweep up the sludge? No, of course not. It'll take time and plugging the pollution, first of all. Ah, clever. Good. Yes, but in this instance, the lycanthropy was just the first bite, so the pipe has been plugged, as it were. So, smart, though. That goes into another curse. For example, the hypnotic draw of vampires. So that could be, yes, you have to get rid of the vampiric influence before you can start healing the vampirelings. But for werewolves, it's a little bit easier, and wererats, that it is the initial bite, so the action has already taken place. But I agree, it will take time in order to remove the lasting damage, and with this, it might have been a thought in the back of your head, but it's for someone as afflicted as he, for as long as he might be too far gone, or he might never regain every sensibility, and that is something that they will continue living with, but you are giving them so much hope and a new life and a better life. So that is admirable. But I have never experienced anyone with this lycanthropy for so long. Well, I experienced very few. Well, that's not true. So in Anywhere, as part of shape-shifting, then of course you can imagine that we do have a small little neighborhood called New Moon that deal with lycanthropy. So I will say that I have dealt with them. From what you are telling me, these are very well-meaning were-rats, where I've met were-boars and were-tigers and a were-boar of Hamlet, which I mentioned a while ago, but all sorts of half-beasts. So what you're doing is good. For New Moon, oh, that's very clever, actually, because I was doing like a New Italy reference or like a Chinatown, but New Moon for a neighborhood of were creatures. That's really good, actually. That's layers. That's deep. Because you don't want to name that like full moon. New Moon. Oh man, I completely didn't get the two. Yeah, I was doing a New Italy joke or like a New York. Wow. Hey y'all, I'm clever as hell. So yes, those are the basics of Remove Curse. For the residents of New Moon, they have never asked for that. Whether or not they know that it could be as simple as a Remove Curse spell, I do not know. But I was not exactly in a position to offer it. We have healers in Anywhere. So it was more their job. I was confined to the castle and teaching Princess Misdirection. Golly, all those S's. Princess Misdirection. And taking care of the nobleman's education. But that is an interesting thought, and if we are deemed to return to Anywhere, then I will inquire. Thank you for inspiring me, Rock. And then Rock, who, this is a lot of learning over 6 hours, and his brain is kind of thrumming. You can feel his skull is kind of tight. But with that, then it's like, man, that as that'll just like a caffeine boost, just pick you up and keep you chugging along. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Oh, I was also thinking, how do you endow objects into magical objects? Is there a way where I could put Remove Curse into an amulet or a medallion or some artifact and then give it to Algernon for it to be constantly surging through a system instead of as often as I could, but my application of Remove Curse? Well, that's a very good question. Let's fucking look in my notes. Because I'm sure there's magical doodly-wops and thingamabobs. And let's see. Let's go to my Dungeon Master Guide, because I actually didn't do the research on this, because I didn't think Rock would ask Sheen, even though it's a very good question. Let's see. Magic items. Oh, can I do like a make your own magic item? Cursed items? attunement, identifying a magical item. Well, we'll just make your own one. Rarity, gemstones. Buying and selling, identifying, attunement. More difficult identification. Cursed items, magic category. Armor, potions, rings, rods, scrolls. A ring. Staff, wands, weapons. Wondrous items. Wearing and wielding items. Multiple items of the same kind. Paired items. Activating an item. Common words, consumable spells, charges. Magic item, resilience. Special features. Maybe a ring. Magic rings offer an amazing array of powers to those lucky enough to find them. Unless a ring's description says otherwise, a ring must be worn on a finger or on a similar digit for the ring's magic to function. Okay, now, Wizards of the Coast, what do you mean by that? A ring must be worn on a finger, yeah. Or a similar digit? Are we talking toe rings? Or are we talking other kinds of rings? Because this is a kid's show. No, it's not. It's not a kid's show. It's a family-friendly show. Not really. But I'm not going to say cock ring on my show. So, there we go. Magic item formulas. Variant wands that don't recharge. Interesting. What quirk does it have? Okay, none of these are really answering my question. Let's go to the end of all of that. Charms. Eye of Vecna. Because there's like 80 pages of magical items in the Dungeon Master's Guide. And I printed them all out. But before and afterwards, I'm trying to learn if you can ding-dong make your own ones. Well, that doesn't really say. So Sheen will say, that's a good question. Let me think about it. There's probably a way. I mean, magical items are created, so why not make our own? I'll ponder it and the ramifications and the morality, but of course this is well-meaning. However, is there the possibility of a ring of curse removal where that might be detrimental, and the ambiguous morality behind that? For example, if a creature is summoned through a curse, would the application of this ring or amulet or medallion, would that end their life? Or if their life was brought upon by a curse, were they doomed and a cursed creature, and are they worthy of life? As much as magical abilities and spells are discussed in the magical circles, then half of any new magics is the rhetoric and the debate and waffling back and forth on the purpose of it and blah, blah, blah. Good thing you aren't really writing your own spells, boy, because that's a pain. Says Victor, staring at his notes where I made my own spell. Sealant, the abjuration cantrip. So, last little bit here. Rock then wondering if he can make a amulet of curse removal. Victor, future notes. He asks, so we were trying to investigate the Plaza Growlhund. Oh, with invisibility? See, yeah, no. Not the first 2 times, but certainly the third. So, while we were investigating it, in order to stake out potentially the party that we are going to, could you tell me what circumstance normally looks like? I am assuming that when he's in Waterdeep, then he will be in guise, but just in case he manages to let down his guard or slip up, like, are there any identifying features? And then Sheen goes, well, actually, yes. And then with a 15, he goes, they are as follows. And then we hear some mischievous music, some and then we are following this point of view, which is hopping. It's darkness, and it smells of cobwebs and dust and a little bit musty and damp. And then it's a lot of dark wooden beams all around, and there's barely any light. And $15. 15. Oh wow, a 15 plus 7 stealth. Then we experience silent lifting off, launching from one dark wooden beam to another, and these are big wooden beams. And then we hear many voices below us, and we're kind of climbing through this ceiling, and up we go, and there is this almost laser grid of rope twisting and drawn tight and taut, and we with our scaly paws then kind of monkey swing under some and launch ourselves bow style like an arrow to another rope, and then we swing around that one and go up against this very mothball smelling curtain, and then we slide down it and we reach the bottom, and then we hear thum, 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 as giant feet come walking in front of us and then behind us, and we have to kind of scurry along. And then okay, cool. So we weave through these giant feet and onto the stage, and then we start climbing up the winding wooden stairs of the yawning portal set, and we climb all the way up, and then from our vantage point we now see the whole theater and the set and all the actors and crew rushing about underneath, and we are Wishes the fairy dragon, and we kind of float, hang glide downwards, and then one of the actors underneath, he's going, guys, can someone help me with these clothespins? And there are clothespins. He has like a small little basket of them in his hand, and then each clothespin is painted white with like a little bit of clay outline on them, and he's pinning his beard that is powdered white. And he goes, how many do I need? A lot of them? All right. And so he's pinning them to his beard, and then another actor comes up and helps Well, okay, now hold on. And then this actor puts down this giant mascot head with a long nose and floppy fabric behind it. Yeah, I have to do something with my beard too, so hold on. And then he like helps pin the clothespins onto one of the actors' beard, and then We as Wishes goes up, and then in between both of them, we climb up kind of onto this banister, and we perch on this railing that leads up to the winding wooden staircase, and we're there watching like a gargoyle, invisible, as both of these guys are talking to themselves. Yeah, we open soon, right? Yep. How are you feeling about it? Yeah, I'm excited. Like, it's a good role. Like, here is my voice. That's pretty good. Here is my voice. That's pretty good too. And as they're talking, then we taste kind of like a jalapeno spice, that kind of burn in the back of our throat, and then we burp up a euphoria breath. So the dragon exhales a puff of euphoria gas at one creature within 5 feet of it. I'm letting Wishes do both of them because they're both in proximity. They're both breathing in the same 5 feet of air. So yeah, it was fine. The target must succeed on a DC 11 Wisdom saving throw. All right, let's roll for both of these actors. One is a 14 and one is a 6. So is the dragon breathing euphoria dust called Zendaya? That's very good. Yes, just a bunch of high schoolers who look like 30-year-olds doing stuff to each other. I don't know. Take that. Topical HBO show. Anyways, that's nothing. And 14. Okay, so the guy who put down this giant felt head is pinning these clothes and go, oh, dude, was that you? And then the other guy who's getting these white clips to his beard goes, and then for 1 minute, the target can't take reactions and must roll a d6 at the start of each of its turns to determine its behavior during the turn. So, a 2, the target takes no action or bonus action and uses all of its movement to move in a random direction. Delicious. So, Wishes, seeing just the, like, violet glaze over the first actor's eyes, knows that the breath worked and is now chuckling to itself, where the second actor who made his saving throw hears the chuckle and goes, oh man, Wishes, are you around? And is looking blindly around for the invisible fairy dragon. And then that first actor with a natural 20. Okay, I was doing that for like directions. So awesome. He will go, and then he will actually start running up the curved wooden stairs that Wishes is perched upon. And then he runs past the the growing cackle as the fairy dragon as the first actor runs up the stairs and all the way to the end of like this second story platform. And then the actor goes, I need to rehearse it. And then he runs, and then he fake trips at the top of the wooden staircase, and then falls all the way down to a chorus of as Wishes the fairy dragon is completely delighted with the chaos and mayhem. And then And then the second actor goes, "Oh man, can someone go find Sheen? Like, we need to get Wishes under control. Wishes, can you come out, buddy?" And then you just hear flapping of some butterfly wings as the second actor goes, "Oh no, I didn't see where he went." And so he helps pick up the first actor, who's just dazed, lying on the ground. And with a 7, then stands up and kind of darts. Let's see. Darts a little to his right and a little behind him, away from the second actor. And it's, no, come back. No. Yeah, can someone help find Sheen, please? And then, that's cute. A little Wishes interlude. And then Sheen, the red-orange mud man, sitting in this leathery chair talking to Rock the half-orc wizard, purple skin, sitting on an overly stuffed leather ottoman. Sheen finishes with, "And that's really how you can identify circumstance with." Sheen, can you help us find Wishes? He breathed on one of us. Oh, good lord. All right, hold on. Oh! And then Sheen stands up and kind of adjusts himself, and this damp earthen form. And then with an 18, let's see. Let's just. Ooh. And then he morphs into this human-looking male with with a big brown bushy beard and a brown hair bun, but he's like 6.5 feet tall. And so he opens the door, and this 5'8" figure on the other side of the door, and then looks up. Honestly, I don't know how you do it. That's amazing. That's your team is so good. And then one of the actors looks inside to Rock and then gives him like a thumbs up. "This is some of the best work yet. It looks like me, but like a lot taller." "Yes, I'm like you, but a lot taller. And that is the only difference." Oh, okay. Yeah, can you help us find Wishes, please? "Yes, I'll just be right there. You go on ahead. Remember, he likes cinnamon sugar, so just if you can get a little vial of that around, you know how there's always some in the wings, so just get that and then sprinkle it, and he'll float over to you eventually." "Right, yes, thanks, okay." And then that actor leaves, and Sheen turns around, 5'6", and looks down at Rock and kind of rolls his eyes. All right, well, that was the most productive tech rehearsal I've ever been through. Of course, I understand that the crew and the tech people, I appreciate them and their efforts, but it's just so boring, you know? Anyways, that was a great lesson. I know you'll feel a little lightheaded here for the next little bit, because that's some heavy-duty magic as a wizard, as young as you are, and you did exceptionally well. So try and cast curse, remove curse on yourself at the end of the day to hopefully remove that headache. And then if I don't see you again very soon, then I'll see you when we open low stealth roll or noises off. So again, I'll let you know when that is, and I'll send you all tickets. Because was it Tipsy who conned his way into getting free tickets? I was gonna offer them to you anyways, but it's good to let rogues feel like they're stealing something away from you. Let everyone feel that they're good at stuff, at their own things. And speaking of which, then
with a wink and a nod, then Sheen like grows to 7'3", so another 10 inches, and then he toot height. So he ducks through his dressing room door and he goes, "I'm off to find a fairy dragon. What are you up to tonight, Rock?" As he exits with a jaunt in his very long, like, basketball player legs, thin basketball player legs. And then he goes off, and then Rock goes, "That is a very good question, Sheen." And then he looks around his the dressing room that he finds himself in, at all the just memorabilia around, all these little toys and tokens of performances, and just there's color and brightness and objects, and you could spend 6 hours just looking at all the cool stuff in here. And then he kind of and then standing up, sure enough, he gets lightheaded as he gets to his feet, but he brushes off. He puts the ottoman back underneath the makeup table, and let's see, he will do an investigation real quick. A 15. Nice. Investigation plus 6. A 21. He is looking around for something he exactly spots on the makeup desk, where among the brushes and compact discs of powder and different colored, like, lipstick tubes, all of which are untouched. Then he finds, sure enough, an empty vial, and he unscrews it a little bit and then turns it upside down, and then like 5 or 6 little grains of cinnamon sugar come out, and then he dumps it on the floor and wipes his hand on the robe, and then he walks over to the overstuffed leather chair, and then he looks around with the 21 at some spots, like some tucked in the cushions is actually some of Sheen's like mud. And so respectfully and with reverence, then he scoops a little of the mud into the vial and corks it, and then places it in his pocket with another vial where you can't quite make out what's inside. But then he pats both of those vials, and those glass vials clink together. And breathing in this fulfilled and completely satisfied breath, then he exits the dressing room and out into the theater. And that's where we'll end it tonight. It's a little bit early, but I felt a lot of good storytelling happened and a lot of good laughs, and me shelling out merchandise for about 4 hours. So what nice little vignettes. I am Victor Rivera. Let me put stuff away. I am Victor Rivera, and this was D&Me, a one-man show where I play Dungeons & Dragons by myself. I stream Wednesday nights on Twitch at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I upload the video the following morning, Thursdays, on my YouTube page. Today's show will be up tomorrow, Thursday, which is March 31st, and next week's episode... right at the end. I'm just going to do the outro again. That was so delightful. Thank you. What was the last little bits? Because I was just doing the outro. So I'll just say it was the outro. Great episode. Thank you. So
I'm Victor Rivera, and this is D&Me, where, I'm Victor Rivera, and this was D&Me, Thank you very much for watching. I'm Victor Rivera, and this was D&Me, a one-man show where I play Dungeons & Dragons with myself. I stream Wednesday nights on Twitch at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I upload the video the following morning Thursdays on my YouTube page. Today's show will be up tomorrow, Thursday, March 31st, and next week's episode will be live Wednesday, April 6th, 2022. And you can find me on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and a bunch of other stuff. Where? On my Linktree. That's linktr.ee/D&Me Adventures and Like Gnome. And I roll to see which of my characters gives tonight's outro. Yeah, we're starting fresh. So, 1 is Tipsy, 2 is Onyx, 3 is Rock, 4 is Toot Toot. 3, Rock. Whew. Thank you very much for listening to tonight's episode. Thank you very much for watching tonight's episode. I learned Remove Curse, so I feel very good about that. And I have the rest of the day to myself because Sheen seems safe. And here we go. Thank you very much and good night.